Well, hello there again. I know you haven't seen a video from me in probably like 5 months, right? I know I just haven't really taken the chance. However, this idea literally just struck me. I was on TV Showtime, and this person who I follow watches The Walking Dead show, which is currently trying to go. Well, it is, in its final season. It has 3 parts. Now, this reminded me of the kind of, I guess, somewhat tumultuous history with the franchise that I have. So, yes, this video is going to be discussing my particular relationship with this franchise. Now, some of it's going to involve some spoilers, so I'm going to probably kind of do parts for this. The first part will just be discussing my general relationship, while the other part will just be me discussing some of my specific experience, which involve spoilers for the entire franchise. So I'd recommend that if you haven't necessarily seen any of them or all of them, then I would recommend skipping that part. I don't know how long I'm going to be going on for, so I'll try to limit, one specific part of it is, or I could just hold up one of my hands when I can talk with spoilers, so I'll let y'all know. Anyways, my particular history with the Walking Dead franchise. Now, I'm gonna grab something for a bit. Okay, I grabbed it. This is my first trade paperback of The Walking Dead. Now, this story starts back in spring break 2012. I was currently in 5th grade, and I was 11 years old, going to be turning 12 later that year. My mom took me to a trip to Walmart, and then I saw this was just sitting on one of the shelves. Of course, I picked it up because I was intrigued by, just the thing, and it was a comic, and of course, at the time, I had very little, knowledge of comics. I just thought they were all superhero stuff, all DC, Marvel, but this exposed me to comics that weren't, big, Marvel, DC superhero books, and this showed me that comics could also be stories for all sorts of genres. So it opened me up to a whole new world of stuff, and it really has left a long-lasting impact on me as a person, as a creator, as an aspiring writer. I can also thank the John Wayne Cleaver series on my bookshelf out there. I have my door closed. That also really left an impact on me, but this has definitely left one of the biggest impacts on me as an aspiring writer for coloring my tastes and stories. It's why I like the post-apocalyptic genre a lot, and also it's why I like more darker, more dramatic stories. So, yeah. And also, another thing that I found as a result was fan Wikias. Now, I'm pretty sure around I think my 12th birthday that year, I also got a tablet for the first time, and also I kind of had a mini obsession with looking at films because I always had a bit of an interest in filmmaking as a kid. So I used to go on IMDb a lot and look up things and synopses. Yeah, I used to look up a lot of things that were very spoilery. Anyway, and then I learned of the show, and I found the fan Wikia because I was trying to look up lists of characters, and then eventually I found the Wikia. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Wikia is, it is basically a site that is meant to be dedicated to a certain topic. Like, for example, the Walking Dead Wikia is basically for everything Walking Dead. The comics, the shows, the video games, anything that's Walking Dead related will be on this Wikia. And then there's also Wikias, for other TV shows, other films, film franchises, other franchises, companies, yes, of course, there's a Disney Wikia, there's even an aesthetic Wikia, political-related Wikias. There's all sorts of Wikias for anything and everything. Well, hopefully not everything, because I hope there's not Wikias for certain gross things, Anyways, this was basically my first interaction with social media at this point, besides, Facebook, which a lot of people were getting at the time. And this was basically my first exposure to social media. And I was kind of an asshole. I was a kid, so I wasn't necessarily the most mature, responsible person, and, the administrators there, they weren't horrible people, but they were pretty critical of the franchise, because they were pretty big fans of the comics, and they didn't necessarily like the show that much, or at least how it went along. I eventually stopped watching, because there was some stuff that I just wasn't liking. I stopped halfway through Season 7, and I just kind of keep up on it with the Wiki. I don't really delve too much into it anymore. Anyways, yeah, I still delve into fan wikias pretty often, not as often as it was, because at one point when I was into it, I was like, like really just hooked onto this, and yeah, I'm doing this off the cuff if you couldn't tell. With all my videos, I do pretty much off the cuff with like a loose outline with what I want to do in my head. Yeah, and they had very specific opinions, and for a bit, I was kind of an asshole. I've gotten into some arguments, and there was also other stuff that also was related to that kind of went through a little bit of a turmoil with me. That's kind of a separate story entirely. Anyways, yeah. Okay, I'm going to lift up my hand because from this point on, I will be discussing some spoilery related things. So if you don't want to be spoiled for the franchise, sorry if I'm itching, it looks weird. If you don't want to be spoiled for the franchise, don't continue from on this point on. So yeah, I'm going to spoilers. So any people who have not really been caught in the franchise or don't know, please stop watching the video from there on. See you later. Okay, spoilers now. One particular okay, I just want to get clear because I could talk fast. Anyone, if you didn't get the memo, spoilers from here on out. Okay, anyway. One specific experience that I remember was when in season 5, I think? Season 5, season 6? God, I can't remember. Was when there was that whole fake out thing with Glenn. I was kind of an asshole because people didn't want him to be dead, and I said he was dead, but it turns out he wasn't, and it it got really toxic, and I was kind of a dick, but other people were also being assholes. I wasn't the only one there, and that forum had to be shut down entirely because we were all being assholes about it, and people were being, and I also, there was other things where I was trying to discuss with people, and eventually devolved into fights and stuff, and they had to be shut down. I remember someone closed one of it down, and they commented, losing brain cells, like, I was a kid. And also, for a good portion of this time, I went by another name. I had another Wikia, I don't want to go too much into depth, and I created, like, a bunch of, like, fake user profiles, and one that I created was Nikki Nix. and this one I made up, that was a 25-year-old woman, and with this profile specifically, I kind of made, like, I just based it off of what other users were doing, where they had, like, really cool layouts of, like, shows, movies, video games, comics that they like, and other things, so I just kind of, like, formatted my, the profile off of that, and I did it, like, some of it was honest, some of it wasn't, because I just thought they looked cool. Okay, I thought they looked cool. And also, with the TV show collection thing, that was because on the Degrassi Wikia, more on that eventually. More on that whole topic eventually, because I'm not gonna say anymore. There was people on that other Wikia who discussed, who like looked up, who like listed off shows they liked, books they liked, video games, like, well, some of them, music, OTs are one true pairings if you don't know what that means. And I kind of liked how these wikias, like how these people did their profiles, so I just formatted it. And I also had, like, other Goodreads profiles that I kind of did a similar thing with, because I just thought, like, the idea of it was, like, really cool to, like, watch a lot of shows and read a lot of books, which is what I'm continuing to do this very day. But yeah, that was, like, really toxic. And also, one thing, for the TV show, for the people on this Wikia who were administrators, a lot of them were fans of the comics. Now, for the TV show, I'm pretty sure y'all know that Daryl Dixon is a fan favorite. However, on the Wikia, they fucking hated him so much. They just thought that he was just useless and he was just there to do something cool, and that's really nothing else. And also, this is what reminded me. I just saw someone comment about that episode in season 4 where it was just Daryl and Beth after the prison thing. People really hated that. They really hated the last half of the 4th season because it was a lot of, like, it was a lot of filler. And they hated that episode, and specifically with Beth, they really hated her actors. They thought she was really bad, and they also were annoyed every time she fucking sung. Every time she sung, they really hated it. And when she died, some people were happy, some people were sad, of course. Mixed characters. So, yeah, that's what kind of made me want to discuss this. And eventually, like I said, I stopped watching halfway through season 7, and I haven't really gone back to it since. I keep up on it, I see what's happening, so I know things that have happened, but it's going to take a long time, because with this franchise, I Some stuff that was somewhat maybe a little bit influenced by other people, other things. It's a really tumultuous thing. Like, specifically, whenever my mom tries to ask me questions, no shade to her, my mother, I kind of don't want to ask it because she sometimes would ask me, like, all these questions of this and that and that and that, and personally, I got a little bit annoyed because I just was tired of explaining things. So, Mom, if you're watching this, which most likely you will, please don't take this badly. I just don't always want to be explaining every single thing, because I'm pretty sure people always get tired of that. Yeah, so that's kind of just my little history with the fan wikias and stuff, and I kind of want to think of something else to discuss. Let me think. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of like things to discuss. Anyways, if y'all want to follow me on my socials, you can find me. It's Devin M. Munham, pretty much on all my socials. Probably have a link tree in the description. Wait, I actually have it on my bio. And I know a lot of tough things are going on right now, and the world is like all fucked all over and shit. Hope y'all have the best lives that you can have. See you another day.